Panthers fans, something massive just dropped, and the entire Carolinas is buzzing because a voice you all know just sent shockwaves through the league without warning. This moment feels like a jolt straight to the heart of Panthers Nation, stirring up old memories, fresh hope, and a level of energy we haven't felt in years. What was said, how it was said, and the fire behind it has everybody wondering what could be coming next. And trust me, once you hear the full story, you're going to understand why the whole division suddenly feels the pressure. Stick around, smash that subscribe button, and hit like, because what's happening right now could flip everything for the Panthers moving forward today. Here, Cam Newton is the very first name I have to bring to the forefront. Because the moment he jumped on his new 4th and 1 podcast and declared loud and clear that he is not retired, I felt the ground shift beneath the entire Carolina Panthers fanbase. I mean, come on, how many times have we wondered if Cam was done, if the book was closed, if the Super Cam era had finally faded into nostalgia? Yet here he is at 36 years old, breathing fire, talking comebacks, comparing opportunities, and dropping lines that only Cam Newton could deliver with that trademark charisma. And I'm sitting here asking myself, how in the world are we supposed to ignore that energy? How are we supposed to pretend this man isn't still one of the most compelling figures ever associated with this franchise? When Cam said he wouldn't officially retire because of the possibility of a late career Philip Rivers style return, I felt the weight of every Panthers fan leaning forward in their seats. This isn't just any former quarterback talking. This is the 2015 MVP, the greatest dual-threat wrecking ball the league had ever seen, a player who redefined what the position could look like. And he's openly stating he's open for business, emphasizing that he only wants to be wanted by a team that truly believes in him. The confidence, the bravado, the self-awareness, all of that is vintage Cam. But underneath the entertainment, there's a real question simmering. Does the NFL still have space for belief in him, or has the league quietly moved on? And let me tell you, when Cam joked that the Colts wouldn't sign him because Sauce Gardner is wearing the number 1 jersey, I nearly dropped my coffee. That's classic Cam, flipping a simple observation into a punchline that still carries a layer of truth. He's not bitter, but he's not blind either. He knows the optics, he knows the politics of roster decisions, he knows the way teams often dance around the real reasons they hesitate. And when he asked whether Philip Rivers sent any signs that he was available before coming out of retirement, that right there cut deep. Because he's calling out something real. Teams like the idea of a familiar face, a safe storyline, a quarterback who fits their mold. Cam Newton never fit molds. He broke them, shattered them, redefined them, and sometimes scared organizations because of it. But let me be straight here. Cam highlighting his Snapchat workouts, telling people to follow and witness the intensity for themselves, shows a man who feels misunderstood by the league. He's putting in the work. He's showing the receipts. And yet, the phone isn't ringing the way it used to. I've watched plenty of veterans hang on too long, delusion clouding their final seasons, but that's not what I'm sensing from Cam. I'm hearing clarity, determination, a desire to control his own narrative instead of letting front offices bury it quietly. If anything, his openness forces us to ask whether the NFL is uncomfortable with big personalities more than declining skills, because Cam's voice has never been soft or subtle. Now, Panthers fans, let's be honest with ourselves. Cam's last stint in Carolina in 2021 was rough. 5 starts, 5 losses, and an offense that had no identity and no stability. But I refuse to judge him based on a situation that almost no quarterback could have salvaged. The man carried this franchise for a decade, poured his body into every Sunday, and gave the city of Charlotte moments that will never fade. The question isn't whether he's a legend, that's indisputable. The question is whether this league, this era, this moment still has room for a return that would be more than symbolic. And I find myself torn because the heart says yes, but the league's history often says otherwise. So let me make this perfectly clear. What Cam Newton said matters because it strikes at the core of how athletes age, how stars fade, and how fan bases wrestle with the possibility of one more ride. He's not begging, he's not pleading. He's simply stating that he's available, he's capable, and he's still motivated by the right opportunity. And I've got to ask Panthers fans directly, if a team came calling, if the NFL opened one more door, would you want to see Cam suit up again? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe for more Panthers-focused fire, and let's keep this conversation alive, because Super Cam refuses to fade quietly.